Right, welcome back. Now time for the County Diary and taking a look at what is happening around the world. And the recent fuel price review by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority, that is EPRA, will have seen petrol priced at 229 Kenyan shillings, diesel at 223 Kenyan shillings, and kerosene at the same rate if the government had not intervened to subsidize the prices. Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has defended the Kenya Kwanza government in his inaugural media briefing since his appointment by President William Ruto, with the move sparking speculation among and about the possible reintroduction of the fuel subsidies, a measure that was previously scrapped by President Ruto shortly after assuming office. Mwege William with that story.
Despite a marginal reduction in the price of kerosene during the latest review by the Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority (EPRA) for November and December, fuel prices have generally remained the same. Government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has clarified that fuel prices were supposed to be increased, with petrol expected to be priced at 229 shillings per litre, diesel at 223 shillings and kerosene at 206 shillings. However, the government has intervened by subsidizing fuel prices.
And these changes would have gone as far high as 17 shillings. But of course, through the stabilization fund, there were some interventions. At least the increase was marginal. There was a drop, for example, for kerosene. So the government is really trying to do something.
Mwaura says that the situation will have been more challenging for Kenyans considering the rise in the landing cost of fuel. He insists that the introduction of fuel subsidies is justified and beneficial to the citizens.
The government has stabilized fuel price by up to Kenya shillings 19.82 per litre, resulting to a reduction in the retail pump price of diesel and kerosene. This price stabilization has cushioned Kenyans against the projected increase in fuel prices.
Addressing concerns about the rising cost of living, Mwaura defended the William Ruto administration, stating that progress has been made. He has cited reductions in the prices of maize flour and milk in recent months as evidence of the government's efforts.
It's not going to be easy, because as much as we are doing this, we are also having a challenge of the dollar skyrocketing. Is almost approaching 160 mark, and that has a great impact on the cost of living.
In recent days, the government has faced sharp criticism for failing to fulfill promises made during the 2022 general elections, including lowering the cost of living and fuel prices. Mwege William, TV 47.
Now, meanwhile, government spokesperson Isaac Mwaura has defended President William Ruto's foreign trips, stating that these visits have yielded significant benefits. This defense comes in response to public criticism of the president's frequent foreign trips. Despite that disapproval, President Ruto has affirmed his intention to continue with the foreign trips. Emphasizing his role as the country's top ambassador, Mwaura now says the trips have earned the country 2 trillion shillings in investment opportunities. Grace Kurekanja tells us more.
In just over a year, President William Ruto has traveled extensively, visiting countries such as the United Kingdom, South Korea, Uganda, France, Mozambique, Tanzania, the United States of America, China, the Republic of Congo, and most recently Saudi Arabia, among others.
The President has made 39 foreign visits, and we have hosted over 30 heads of states and governments.
Now, while concerns about government spending on these trips may have been raised, the government is assuring the public that there is no cause for alarm.
We have had the benefits of almost close to 2 trillion shillings that have been sealed, in terms of MOUs.
And there is more.
Over 350,000 jobs opportunities for Kenyans to work in Saudi Arabia, and investments in renewable energy. Now you ask yourself, 350,000 jobs. Assuming you get a low-skilled job that would pay a Kenya maybe 30,000 Kenya shillings, and you translate by 350,000 Kenyans, you can see the amount of remittances that would actually come to us as a country.
President Ruto himself defended the frequency of his trips in October.
Watu wengine wananipigia makelele, mbona umeenda safari hii, mbona umeenda safari hii. Hiyo ndio kazi yangu ya rais. Mimi ndio chief agent ya Kenya. Mimi ndio ambassador ya Kenya ya kupanga vile Kenya itasonga mbele.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has also come to the defense of President Ruto, countering criticism that these foreign trips cost the taxpayer more than those of his predecessor, President Uhuru Kenyatta, who in over 10 years reportedly visited 53 countries. Grace Kuriakanja, TV 47.
Now to some sad news. Maharani residents in Kitutu Churches South, Kisii County are now still reeling in shock following a disturbing incident where a 27-year-old man named Alex Yatta killed his brother's wife and her 2 children. It is alleged the suspect and his brother were fighting over land, prompting him to kill his family. Paul Kirobi with the story.
Wednesday marked a somber day in Nyabogi Maharani sub-county following a tragic incident that occurred on Tuesday night. 27-year-old man named Alex Yatta abruptly ended the lives of 2 children, aged 5 and 2, by slashing them with a machete. According to his uncle Michael Monari, Alex had issued threats to harm the family of his brother, particularly concerning the emotionally charged land issues they were set to inherit. Yatta and his brother had reportedly been in a long-standing feud, and it is alleged that he killed his brother's family as a means of frustration.
Niambia huyu mtoto alinifungia nyumba akaweka moto nikasaidiwa. Tumefika hapa polisi, tumeripoti kwenda huko, kufika huko na baada tena baba yake na huruma anasema amepoa. Mara ya pili akamweka chini, huyo ni baba yake, akamweka chini na panga, akatoa hata nguo zake, akatoa ya mse, akataka kumuua.
Despite numerous efforts, the attempts by the two to resolve land dispute had not yielded any positive results.
Kulikuwa na shida pale, walipigana vijana wawili na hiyo ndio ilifanya maneno yakakuja kuharibika baadaye.
Yule mtoto wangu hana maneno etina. Ni kama sister yangu, na ukimwangalia na wasichana wangu wanafanana. Nikienda huko tunaongea na yeye kama sister yangu. Kama ako na sita ananipigia simu ananiambia mama niko na sita fulani, na mtumia kitu yenye anataka.
Residents and family members led by 22-year-old Edna Mora have appealed to the government to intervene in the matter and ensure justice for their family.
Ikiwa mtu wako na shida na ndugu yake, sidhani kama hiyo ndio jibu ya kuua watu ambao hawana shida na yeye. Na ikiwa kuna mikorofishano kule nyumbani, naomba watu watulie, waketi, waongee, kwa sababu hasira huwa inaleta hasara.
Maharani OCPD Benjolife Munuve, confirming the incidents, stated that the suspect surrendered himself to the police officers, confessing to the heinous act.
He hid somewhere. Then at around 8:12, 8:15 in the evening, that is PM, he reserviced at Rioma police station, where he surrendered himself, and they confirmed that he's the one who did the act. Then he was booked in and is now be ready to be taken to court any time from today.
Paul Kirobi, TV 47.
Now, at the heart of Kenya's Rift Valley lies the Kapedo region, a borderland between the Turkana and Pokot communities. For decades, this area has been plagued by violence and insecurity, a festering wound that has defined all attempts at resolution. But just what does it take to restore peace at the troubled valley? Elizabeth Ateno with more of these answers.
The journey from Marigat to Kapedo, a typically 1-hour drive, unfolds as a harrowing experience, a stark testament to the profound animosity that saturates the region. Public transport has long been abandoned, replaced by the questionable security of armored vehicles. Residents live in constant fear for their lives, their daily routines shaped by the looming threat of violence.
Hii shida ya hapa ni inatokana na mifugo. Mifugo ya Pokot akichukuliwa, Turkana akichukua, hata Pokot analipisa kisasi.
Even within Kapedo itself, the two communities remain starkly divided, unwilling to share essential facilities like hospitals, further intensifying the simmering resentment.
Wale watu wanasumbua watu sio wase, ni vijana wadogo.
Hope and work towards greater investment, not just simply through dialogue, but also through tangible ways of communities coming together. But again, I trust the outcomes of deliberate exchange amongst community leaders and those who are impacted to put forth their solutions.
Kwa sababu mambo ya boundaries ya land ni mambo sensitive. Tumejaribu kuongelea kama viongozi wa mashinani kuambia wale wao ambayo tunawachunga kwamba waishi kama Wakenya.
In a bid to break the deadlock, Interpeace, an international organization dedicated to peace building, organized a meeting between the Pokot and Turkana elders. The gathering took place by the Suguta River, a neutral ground where both sides could voice their grievances. The meeting stretched over 4 hours, with each side pointing accusatory fingers at the other, their words steeped in suspicion and distrust.
Just to point out, one of the major impediments to peace in this region was identified as illiteracy. And illiteracy cannot be resolved by civil society or by any other person. This is the function of government.
Conflict in Kapedo is a multifaceted problem, deeply entrenched in historical grievances and amplified by political intrigues. Achieving a lasting solution demands a joint effort from all involved parties, a commitment to authenticate reconciliation, and a readiness to address the underlying causes of the conflict. Only then can the people of Kapedo envision a future liberated from fear and violence, a future where they can coexist in peace and harmony. Elizabeth Atieno, TV 47.
Now, meanwhile, Cabinet Secretary for Information, Communication and Digital Economy has today made changes, rather Wednesday made changes in his ministry and has appointed Patrick Mureithi Mwate, Amos Omolo, Lily Cherono Koech, Francis Parsimei Gitau, Joy Fridan Kirote, Dr. Ferdinand Chirura Nyongesa, Benjamin Kiptunui Rop, Elizabeth Limagur as members of the Universal Service Advisory Council for a period of 3 years, with effect from the 15th of November this year. Right, and to Kiambu County, where police have launched a probe into a case where a man who allegedly pretended to be a patient at the Kiambu Level 5 hospital stole from other patients. The individual is accused of taking money from a patient who had received funds from a SACCO but was too unwell to go to an M-Pesa shop to withdraw the money. The patient allegedly shared his M-Pesa pin with the imposter who instead stole from him. Chichi Josephine with the details.
It proved to be a tragic day for Julius Mwangi's family when he passed away after being admitted to Kiambu Level 5 Hospital in preparation for a colonoscopy.
Tumekuja na askari. Tukapata huyo mgonjwa amekufa.
The family revealed that the 60-year-old could not afford the 21,000 shillings cost of the colonoscopy test at the moment. Consequently, they requested additional time to gather the necessary funds.
Nikaambiwa kuna scan anatakiwa afanyiwe. Tunaambiwa itakosti 21,000. Alafu nikaambia huyu mgonjwa niende niongee na sister yangu. Tujue vile tutasaidiana.
The suspected thief is believed to have been a former patient in the ward who was discharged but failed to settle his bills. Later, he resorted to stealing from other patients in the hospital.
Kila mtu anasemanga anaambianga mmoja nikuoshe kikombe uko anje anakupora pesa. Sasa yeye anajifanya anasaidia wagonjwa.
The family shared how they had offered to raise the funds for Julius to undergo the test. Fortunately, soon after they managed to source the funds, Julius received 11,000 shillings from his SACCO before an unforeseen incident occurred.
Sasa tukamuuliza pesa imeenda wapi na umewekewa saa hii tukunje na hii 10,000 juu alikuwa anatakikana 21. Iko wapi hiyo 11,000? Hapana, huyu kijana ndiye amefanya nini? Nimempea simu yangu, mimi ndiye tukajaribu pini yenye tulikuwa tunajua yake ndio hii simu yake. Ameshatoa pini.
Upon their return later that day, the word is made to learn that the entire 11,000 shillings had been withdrawn by the alleged patient. The suspect had pretended to assist Julius in making a call to his wife and took advantage of the situation to empty the M-Pesa account.
Sasa ni kama amepara wagonjwa wengi juu analia, kuna wameibiwa 600, wengine wameibiwa simu. Na huyo mtu wako tu hapo ndani. Anazunguka anajifanya ati anawasaidia.
Mwangi's death has raised concerns about the integrity of the hospital staff, given that similar cases have been reported in the past.
Mimi nikiangalia kwa akili yangu nikifanya hesabu, kuna mtu huyu kijana anafanya kazi naye hapa, anasemekana ati alibewa ruhusa zamani akakosa pesa. Si pesa amekosa, ni kazi yako ya kuibia wagonjwa hapo.
The alleged thief has been apprehended and is currently held at Kiambu police station.
Ametushungusha mpaka mzangu akakufa.
Chichi, Josephine, TV 47.
And to matters examinations and education, MPs from Gusii region are now asserting that officials from the National Examination Council in the country are causing concern and fear among candidates taking the exams in Kisii and Nyamira counties. Led by their majority leader in the National Assembly, Silvana Sosoro, the MPs allege a conspiracy against the Gusii region, specifically targeting students from that area. They're now calling for investigations into the involvement of NEC officials. Sheila Chillingat with more.
During this year's examination season, Nyambaria School in Kisii County has been marred with allegations of exam malpractice. This also sparking allegations that candidates from the school chased away examination officials on Tuesday, alleging harassment. As these allegations continued to plague the school, which topped the examinations last year, the principal has been suspended as the center manager over allegations of facilitating exam irregularities. As the plot of cheating allegations at the school thickens, some senators over the weekend accused examination officials of mistreating candidates in Nyamira when they were seeking evidence of cheating.
Unatutezea wanafunzi wako wa form 4, watu wanaweza kufanya vitu mbaya. Hiyo pepo mbaya ifanye nini? Pepo mbaya ifanye nini? Na tutapita hiyo mtihani. Tutapita hiyo mtihani.
A student from Sironga Girls High School has also been questioned on allegations of involvement in examination malpractice. The female student was reportedly found cheating inside the school's toilet. This as leaders from Kisii County today claim that there is a conspiracy against schools in Kisii and now want the NEC officials involved to be investigated.
That the profiling taking place there is purely because of its geographical location, where Nyambaria is found, being in the Gusii region, and its last year's performance. Nyambaria has some of the best brains of this country, headed by one of the best managements, and therefore we find it quite unreasonable that CIDs and DCIs have taken over the roles of the teacher.
Those involved must face the law, especially on the sexual harassment, touching people carelessly as you want. But this thing of militarizing examination, like it's a military camp, you harass everybody. You get to the exam room, it's like a command center for the police or the military. And that only happens in Kisii.
With the examination set to be completed soon, MPs from Gusii region are calling for a detailed investigation, demanding fairness in the administration of the examination. Sheila Chelangat for TV 47.
Right, from Gusii region to the airports, and Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has come to the defense of Roads and Transport Cabinet Secretary Kipchumba Murkomen in relation to the leakage witnessed at the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport roof, where he attributed substandard renovations at the JKIA done by the previous regime to the leakage. The Deputy President has urged the relevant authority to take action against unqualified engineers to ensure that all projects meet the necessary standards. This as the C has formed an 11-member committee to investigate the matter, as Paul Munir reports.
Speaking during the official opening of the 30th annual conference of the Institute of Engineers in Mombasa, Gachagua said that the previous government might have engaged unscrupulous professionals during the renovation of the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, supporting earlier statements by the transport CS.
Public resources were expended. When you go there, you feel sorry. But engineers, QSs, and architects certified. And on the basis of that certification, payments were made. And that's why I agree with the CS. I think Engineer Mongera, we may want to look at the law where professionals are held accountable.
Kipchumba Murkomen, however, acknowledged the existence of unqualified engineers responsible for poorly executed projects and is now proposing that the Engineers Board of Kenya establishes a registry system where all engineers are recorded based on the projects they oversee. This, he believes, would facilitate the ministry in identifying and holding accountable those guilty of professional negligence.
Even though these engineers are doing a great job, the fear of having some few of them breaking the law, committing acts of professional negligence, has led Your Excellency to sometimes very poor bridges being built or infrastructure, that we need a register that registers all projects and the engineers who supervise the projects, the resident engineer, and the people who are undertaking, the contractors who are undertaking that work, so that we can track, Your Excellency, the people who are operating in our infrastructure and make sure that we hold them into account.
The CS was expected to appear before the Senate on Wednesday morning to address various concerns, including the issue of leaking roofs at the JKIA terminals. However, he failed to show up. Senator Gerald Gay, through X, formerly Twitter account, deems his absence as disrespectful to the Senate and Kenyans, citing a violation of Article 153 of the Constitution and the Senate Standing Orders number 51A, B, C, and D. Murkomen, who visited the JKIA in the evening, has assured Kenyans that the issue of leaking roofs at the JKIA will be addressed promptly. Paul Munio, TV 47.
Right, and into matters business. In the world of stock this week, the market has shown incredible resilience and positivity. The positive momentum continues to drive the market forward, paving way for investment opportunities that are making waves. The oversubscription of bids has reflected strong investor interest, indicating confidence in the market, as Natasha Wairimo reports.
The benchmark indices closed the week on a mixed note, with the Nairobi Securities Exchange All-Share Index recouping 3.7% week over week from last week's 4.1% slide, largely on Safaricom's recovery. The Nairobi Securities Exchange 10 and 25 share indices rebounded 0.5% and 0.2% respectively, with the Nairobi Securities Exchange 20 share index retreating 1.6% week over week. The telco soared 15.9% week over week to a 3-week high of 13.50 Kenya shillings. KCB Group maintained losses, retreating 1.8% week over week to 16.05 Kenya shillings on increased local selling. Safaricom was the leading gainer of the week, while Standard Group was the leading loser, shedding 19.5% week over week to a record low of 5.54 Kenya shillings on local trading. Foreign investors maintained their net selling position, recording net outflows of $2.1 million. Safaricom led the selling charge, while KCB Group led the buying charge. Treasury bills were significantly oversubscribed, marking the highest subscription post-pandemic. The overall subscription came in at 255.64%. The central bank received a total of 61.35 billion in bids, with 60.72% and 30.30% geared towards the 91 and 182-day papers, respectively.
So for this particular bond, which was an IFB, the interest income is tax exempt, which is more advantageous for investors looking to minimize their tax liabilities. Number 2, the bond's redemption structure was amortized or is amortized, which means that the principal payment will be done gradually over different periods. So this one kind of reduces the overall tenor of the bond, which on paper is 6.5 years, but once amortized, the duration reduces to 4.85, around there years.
Natasha Wairimo, TV 47, Nairobi.
Right, and from matters stock markets, we'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more. Stick around.
Every day, Kenyans face countless hurdles. Families struggling to put food on the table, children fighting malnutrition, and communities in need of quality healthcare. In a world where a small gesture can have an enormous impact, TV and Radio 47 invite you to be part of something incredible. Introducing Tenda Wema. With just 1 shilling and 50 cents daily, taken from your airtime or data, you can be the light of change. Dial *354*47# and witness your compassion in action. Every shilling you contribute directly empowers education, healthcare, and community progress. Your 1 shilling and 50 cents might seem like a drop in the ocean, but imagine the ripples it creates. Better access to education, improved healthcare, and a safer environment for all. Remember, every shilling is a building block. Every contribution a step towards progress. Let's ignite Mimini Sisi into a legacy of change. Let's sculpt a better tomorrow for Kenya. Dial *354*47# to subscribe today. Tenda Wema with TV and Radio 47.
Ni mmojawapo wa viongozi waliozaliwa katika familia ya siasa. Jambo liliochochea zaidi masuala ya uongozi. Sio hilo tu, wakati mmoja akiwa mwanahabari.
I actually did production in radio. Nilikuwa nikifanya voiceovers, nilifanya utangazaji.
Umesema you did voiceovers. I would like to hear wewe kwa line moja.
Mimi ni Abdulswamad Sharif Nasser. Karibuni Mombasa County 001001. Kwa hivyo pengine huwezi kujua nikimaliza hapa baada ya miaka yangu 10 naweza kuja Radio 47.
Radio 47 tumekukaribisha hata kesho. Sio mwingine ni Abdulswamad Sharif Nasser, na Alhamisi hii saa 1:30 kuendelea nitakuwa nikikupa story na historia katika kipindi Mfahamu Kiongozi.
Right, welcome back. Time for the County Diary, where we take you through different parts of the country just to know what will be happening today. And we start off in Kericho County, where our very own Collins Bet is there on matters, getting the sentiments of the residents there concerning the whole matters fuel. Collins, over to you.
Yes, I'm coming to you live from Kericho Central Business District. Yesterday, Energy and Petroleum Regulatory Authority announced a new price on diesel and kerosene, and that of petrol remain at 217. And here in Kericho, the price of petrol stands at 217, while that of kerosene stands at 204 respectively. I have interacted with the residents of Kericho, especially those who are in transport sector, and this is what they had to say.
Kwa majina naitwa Kaka, mimi ni mkaaji wa Kericho County. Tunashukuru serikali yetu ya Ruto alitupunguzia jana mafuta kwa shilingi 2. Tunaomba angalie upande wa petrol atupunguzie tena zaidi, maana sisi wakaaji wa hapa tunaumia. Ukiangalia mahali tulikuwa tunaenda na shilingi 30, sasa hizi tunaenda na shilingi 150. Ukitoka mahali hapa town kuelekea town upande ya Nyagacho tunalipisha shilingi 150 ambapo ilikuwa shilingi 30. Tunaomba tafadhali serikali yetu utupunguzie, maana sisi tunaumia. Sisi kama hustlers tunaumia tena zaidi. Tunaomba utuangalie sisi watu wa chini.
Tukiangalia bei ya mafuta yenye tunatumia kwa kutafutia watoto wetu imeenda juu sana, kiwango chenye hatupati kitu kamwe. Na jinsi tumeona review ya mafuta ya energy hii mwezi, tungependa petrol pia iende chini, ingawa diesel imeenda chini na 2 shillings, petrol ingeenda chini of at least hata 10 shillings, 20 shillings chini, ili hata sisi tupate kulisha watoto na kuwatayarisha, manake ni karibu hivi karibuni watarudi shule.
Sisi wana boda boda, tangu hii fuel iende shilingi 200 hatuna letu kabisa. Ukiangalia saizi biashara ya boda boda haina mapato. Wewe kazi yako ni kuingia petrol station kila mara, ukichota mafuta ya lita 1 unapeleka customer mara 2. Ukijaza hiyo shilingi 200 ya mafuta lita moja, mafuta imeisha, unarudi huko unaenda kuchota mafuta ingine.
Kwanza kabisa nataka nishukuru serikali kwa kutupunguzia mafuta ya diesel na mafuta taa. Nilikuwa naomba aweze hata kupunguza hiyo ya petrol pia, alafu ndo kama watu wa bodaboda wapate kazi nao. Sisi kama watu wa matatu tunashukuru kwa maana tumepunguziwa kwa shilingi 2 na ninajua serikali inafanya kazi yake.
Those are the reaction from the resident here in Kericho. Majority saying that the fuel of price has gone up, and therefore they are calling upon the national government to reduce the price. From Kericho Central Business District, my name is Bet Collins.
Right, thank you, Bet Collins, for that. From Kericho to Laikipia, Laban Muhinda is. Laban, habari za leo. Tell us what is happening in that particular county today.
Naam, shukran sana mwenzangu kwenye studio kuu za Nairobi na kupata kwa njia mbashara zaidi nikiwa hapa mjini Nyahururu, huku ni kaunti ya Laikipia. Na leo nimetembelea shirika moja la kijamii ambalo jukumu lake kuu ni kuweza kushughulikia walemavu katika jamii. Nami hapa ningependa kupata wasia au maoni na hisia za baadhi ya wahudumu katika shirika hili. Waweze kutueleza ni mambo yapi ambayo wanafanya katika shirika hili. Karibu ndani ya TV47, kisha baadaye utueleze nini haswa mnachofanya katika shirika hili.
Asante sana. Jina langu ni Julia Wamboi. Mimi ni mhudumu ama mfanya kazi katika shirika la Lash Kenya. Lash Kenya ni shirika ambalo lilianzishwa mwaka wa 2008 na lilianzishwa kama kujibu swali ama tatizo ambalo lililokuwa katika maisha ya watu ambao wako na ulemavu wa kiakili. Na wakati tunapowahudumia hawa watu, mwanzo tunawakaribisha katika shirika letu, alafu tuko na workshops ama mahala ambako tunafanya kazi, mambo kama kule jikoni, tuko na shamba kidogo, tuko na workshop ya packaging, mahali ambako tunatengeneza makaratasi ambayo tunaweza kupakia chakula kama snacks. Na wakati tunawakaribisha hawa adults with intellectual disability, tunawahusisha katika kazi ambazo tunazifanya katika workshops zetu, na tunafanya hivyo ili kuweza kutabua uwezo wao, kwa sababu wito wa shirika letu ni kufanya vipawa ama vipaji za watu ambao wako na ulemavu wa kiakili ziweze kutambulikana hata hapa duniani.
Naam, shukrani sana mwenzangu. Kama vile umesikia, shirika hili linashughulikia wale watu ambao wanao ulemavu wa kiakili. Nami hapa ningependa kupata hisia za mhudumu mwingine aweze kutupatia utofauti baina ya intellectual disability na mental health ni gani?
Asante sana. Kwa majina naitwa Joseph Wanjohi, mhudumu katika shirika la Lash Kenya, na hasa kazi yangu ni kuhusisha jamii katika kujua hali za disability, tofauti za disability na pia ugonjwa. Na kama vile umeniuliza, tofauti ya intellectual disability na mental health ni kwamba intellectual ni ulemavu, intellectual disability ni ulemavu wa kiakili, nayo mental health ni kama ugonjwa wa kiakili. Katika intellectual disability huwezi tumia madawa ili upone, lakini kwa mental health kuna dawa ambazo unaweza pata, ama tuseme hata counseling na uweze kupata nafuu. Na katika intellectual disability hasa hatuwahusishi katika kimasomo. Juu intellectually ni kusema hasa kimasomo hataelewa, lakini kama technical skills na vinye sasa tuko na CBC itakuwa inasaidia watu ambao wako na intellectual disability kujimudu na kufanya mambo yenye wanaweza fanya katika maisha yao.
Na vile matatizo ya ulemavu kwa jamii nyingi humu nchini wanahusisha na mambo na laana, vile uchawi. Unawasia gani kwa familia hapo nje?
Ningependa kuambia kwamba hasa ulemavu unaweza jitokeza kwa njia 3. Na wakati tunapofundisha wazazi ni kwamba mtoto anaweza pata ulemavu before birth, ama wakati tu mama ako mjamzito, na labda zinaletwa na tofauti kama vitu kama lishe bora. Labda mzazi hakuwa anakula lishe bora, alikuwa na matatizo ya kiafya pia, ama mzazi ni mgonjwa. Ugonjwa wakati mwingine ni during birth, wakati mtoto anaweza zaliwa, akizaliwa anaweza pata accident, agongwe ama ashindwe kupumua. Na pia after birth, labda mtoto ameanza kutaba, anaweza gongwa, aanguke, agongwe na apate ulemavu. Kwa hivyo huwa tunahimiza jamii, usiangalie tu kama ni laana, lakini angalia ni vizuri kuuliza mzazi ama mwenye amepata mtoto, upata historia ya mtoto, na kupitia historia ya mtoto utaweza kupata ni nini kulingana na vyenye nimeelezea, before birth or during birth or even after birth. Na kwa serikali pia ningewauliza, especially the county government hospitals, wakati mtoto amezaliwa akiwa na ugonjwa na ulemavu, ni vizuri before the mother ama before the family leaves the hospital, ni vizuri kumuelezea the cause of the disability. Juu already daktari huwa wanagundua immediately after birth kama mtoto huyo ako na ulemavu. Yes.
Naam, shukrani sana mwenzangu, na kama vile ambavyo umesikia ulemavu wa kiakili ni tatizo ambalo jamii nzima lazima liweze kulishughulikia kwa makini na kuweza kuwapa haki zao zote za kimsingi wale ambao ni waathiriwa wa upungufu wa kiakili. Kutoka kwangu mie Laban Muhinda nikiwa hapa mjini Nyahururu, huku ni kaunti ya Laikipia, sina la ziada ila kurejesha usukani kwako studio.
Thank you, Laban Muhinda, for that. From Laikipia to the Parliament buildings, where MPs are discussing the retirement age being capped at 60 years old. You can listen in to what is happening.
Failure to comply with this provision will result in the officer not earning any acting allowances. Clause 1 of the bill provides for the short title. Clause 2 of the bill provides for the amendment of Section 34 of the Act to provide that any officer appointed in an acting capacity shall not be entitled to any acting allowance after the expiry of the 6 months. Clause 3 of the bill provides for the amendment of Section 80 by prescribing the retirement age of 60 years in the Act, as opposed to this age being prescribed in the regulations. It also deletes the provisions allowing the Public Service Commission or any other appointing authority from engaging a person who has attained the age of 60 years. Clause 4 of the bill seeks to save the contracts of the officers currently engaged by the Public Service Commission. Quorum has been achieved. Deputy Speaker, who is currently having a meeting with one of the clerk and some members, perhaps regarding the business that the House is going to transact this morning. And as soon as we get the word from...
Right, live pictures in the National Assembly. Not enough quorum to continue with that particular conversation I was telling you about. Having 60 years being capped when it comes to matters retirement. That is just among what will be is on the diary when it comes to the National Assembly and even Parliament. Others are the report of the Committee on Administration and National Security regarding deployment of police officers to Haiti will come up for consideration this particular morning, well, among others, and we're here to inform you this particular day. So most definitely stay tuned for our subsequent bulletins as we continue. But that is where we really have to talk.
I feel like we've had very nice conversations today whereby all genders feel represented. And you can continue following this discussion. I know the role of the man in the marriage was a very interesting conversation. Before that, we had a panel of 4 women politicians, and we still have those snippets shared on our social media pages, so you can still continue interacting with that conversation on X at TV47 News, on Facebook at TV47 Kenya, even on this conversation about the man's role in a marriage. Do you agree with some of those sentiments shared by our panelists today? It would be interesting to figure out what our audience feel.
Yeah. It was quite an interesting one, and I like that we are getting it from people who are a little bit older, and their perspective is really beautiful concerning the roles of a man and a woman, because this generation of ours,
a lot has changed.
A lot has changed.
Because I mean, even for us, growing up, you drawing parallels of you either sticking to the distinct traditional cultural values, and now even looking for a career woman, a Gen Z woman, both of them, and having both of them at par, it's tricky.
Yeah, like that headline on Taifa Leo said, Anyway, this is where we wrap up this edition of Morning Cafe. Thank you so much for keeping us company. Remember, 39 days to Christmas. My name is Freddie Ndimuli. Have a lovely morning.
Well, and I'm Flora Limuki. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
And I'm usually Stanley Nyiringita. Have yourself a wonderful day ahead. We meet tomorrow for some Furahi Day kind of vibes. Ni weekend imeanza.